everyone, I'm Becky. I am a fiber artist from New Zealand, and today I would like to take you along with my first knitting podcast. So this is so exciting. I have been posting for over a year now, and since December of 2025 I've started knitting, and I finally feel like I'm at a place where I am comfortable enough to start a podcast and to make longer form videos, just where we kind of talk about what I'm doing and you can tell me in the comments what you're doing, and just make it a lovely safe space to share our love for this craft. So first up, just to give you an idea of what I have done, I have made 2 sweaters. I have made the step-by-step sweater from Florence Miller. This was also my first knitting project. And I've made the Elizabeth blouse by Petite Knit. This is also my most recently finished, like, more sweater type, and I love it quite a lot. I just don't wear it much because I made it a bit too short, first of all, and I only later discovered that I'm not really someone who enjoys like a collar, wearing a collar, so that was quite disappointing to discover after finishing this. Then I have been experimenting quite a lot with writing my own patterns. I have this untamed curiosity on how these garments are constructed and how it really works. I don't enjoy just doing something blindly. I want to know why I'm doing it, why this increase is working, why this decrease is working, why you need short rows. I really find those things quite interesting. So I made my dear friend some cable knit mittens the other day for her birthday, and these were quite fun to make. But learning cables and making my first pair of mittens at the same time was quite a challenge indeed, but I enjoyed it so much, and now I love cables as well. So today I would like to show you my work in progress projects so that I can maybe get some progress on these during this video. So it will basically be me talking to you and also just showing my progress and trying to hopefully finish some of these, because I have been dabbling in a lot of other crafts this past month or 2 months, so I have not been knitting nearly as much as I usually have, so a lot of my projects have fallen behind on progress. I would like to use these next 2 weeks just about to try and finish a lot of these. So the first project I would like to finish, I made this beautiful mitten the other day, and I actually dyed the yarn for it as well. I do have a video on how I did that, and I never finished the second one. So I would really like to finish this pair of mittens. I guess it's kind of the same as socks, where if you finish the first one you are a bit more reluctant to finish the second one, but I am quite happy with the pattern for this one. I think it's beautiful, and I think the variation in the dyed yarn is just beautiful. It just kind of makes it more interesting to look at as well. So this is one of the first projects that I would like to finish. Also, this was knit using merino, I believe 4 Seasons merino, if I'm not mistaken, and I used red dye for the blue, and I believe I knit this on a 3.5mm needle. I can't really remember though. Then next up is quite a large project. I have been busy with this since the 5th of May of this year, but I was just about done with it. I was done with the body and I was done with one arm. I was busy with another arm when I sadly realized that I was using the incorrect stitch this whole time. And it was quite a day to realize that I have made all of this progress and it just meant nothing. So while I love knitting and it's probably my favorite craft at this stage, It really downs my confidence sometimes because now I've discovered I cannot count and I cannot read either. So that's nice. So this is the Richard sweater by, I believe, Garn Studio, if I'm not mistaken. And this is also a free pattern, so that is amazing. So this is more a cardigan style sweater because you have a zipper in the middle, so you knit it flat back and forth the whole time until you get to the arms. So also you knit it from bottom up, and then you do the one sleeve, the other sleeve, and then you somehow join them on one, like on one cable, and then you knit them, and then you get up to the neck and the collar, and then you go from there. So I am just about finished. I just want to show you how big it is. This is for my husband, by the way. Yeah, so I need, I think, about 40 centimeters of height for this one, and I'm not quite there yet. It takes quite a while because it is kind of it's a rib stitch, so you rib on the right side and on the wrong side you just purl the whole row. And then you also have this garter stitch edge. I hope you can see that. It's just about the thickness of my finger there, where you will then sew the zipper in. So yeah, I haven't made quite as much progress with this as I should have, because I was very disappointed with having to do all of it again. So yeah, that's not very fun. And I am using denim, I believe it's 4 Seasons denim something. It is 100% acrylic. Sadly, I wasn't able really to find a 12-ply yarn for this project, a merino or a more natural yarn, and they are quite expensive, so I just went for this yarn, and I'm quite upset that I did, because I don't think this is going to be as hot as I would have hoped, because it is winter here in New Zealand currently, and it is freaking cold. It is ridiculously cold, and I just don't think that the sweater is going to provide the heat that I would like it to provide. So this is the other project that I would like to make some progress on today. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get. I need, I think, about 5 centimeters or so more for this part, for the body part, and then I can finally start with the sleeves, which will go faster, I guess. But I also feel like you think that sleeves are going to go quick, and then they don't. So I always misjudge the time that it takes me to knit sleeves. I'm always so excited to start with it, and then I just realized that you have to make 2 of them, and they take quite a long time to do as well. Okay, and then the last project for today is the Fern Field Wrap, I believe. I'm so sorry if I am getting the name wrong. I don't have it with me right now and I cannot recall the name. So this is basically like a scarf wrap type of garment, and I would really like to make this one. I do not have it casted on at the moment, but I would like to start with it. This is probably the project that's not going to get as far as the rest of them, because my priority is the mittens and also the Richard sweater for now. So I will just see how far I will get with the wrap. This is the yarn that I will be using for the wrap. It's 100% cotton, Flinders, 4 Seasons, and the color is terracotta. So with this project, the yarn you use doesn't matter as much. If you use a thicker yarn, it will just be a bit bigger. If you use a thinner yarn, it just might be a bit smaller. So I'm just going to play around with that. I don't mind its size as much. Okay, so feel free to go and grab your knitting or crochet or drawing or a book or something, whatever you're busy with. Make yourself a warm drink in my case. If it's summer there where you are, go make a nice iced tea or an iced coffee. That would be lovely right now, but I would definitely start to freeze internally if I am to drink a cold drink right now. So let's see how far we can get with these knitting projects.
sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire. Like a wildfire.
Hi there everyone. So it is a very, very, very rainy day in Queenstown today. And we are just taking a walk, but it has been so rainy today, the whole day, and I just want to find a quiet and preferably dry place to knit. So let's see if that will be at all possible. Okay, so I managed to find a spot pretty nice with a nice view, and I think we are going to attempt to do some knitting, but it's quite cold, so I don't know how long my hands will hold. But yeah, let's get to it.
Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire. Like a wildfire.
Okay, so it feels like the weather is picking up again and my hands are freezing. I forgot my mittens in the car, so let's go walk around for a bit and hopefully find another spot, or hopefully the weather will clear up or something, because my fingers are not going to make it. The sun's out today, so that's a good sign, but it's probably going to disappear within the next few minutes. So I'm trying to enjoy it while it lasts. So I'm going to give you a quick update while we are outside, and I can just bask for a little bit. Okay, so first up, I finished the mittens, so both of them are done now, and they came in quite handy in Queenstown the other day, so that was nice. But I did realize that I managed to make one of them quite a lot longer than the other one, and I have no idea how I did that. So I'm going to have to fix this one eventually. I'm not in the mood to do it now though, but it's completely mismatched. Like, there's the thumb, and even the color work is completely mismatched. So I don't know what happened here. I think I'm out one row. I have one row more in this one than I have in this one, and one row has made such a screw up. But I'm not in the mood to fix this now, but it's done, so I'm just going to see it as completed. Then next up, I managed to finish the complete body of the Richard sweater, so that is done now. I've already done the few decreases over there as well, and it fits my husband quite nicely, so this is done. The only annoying part is it's still active the whole time, so you just have all of these threads everywhere, because somehow you're going to join the body and the sleeves in the round eventually. Then I actually finished one of the sleeves as well. This took me about, I think, 3 or 4 days of knitting on and off, so not bad, but I can definitely do this. Sorry, my bird just clawed himself against the window and I don't know how he's sitting there. Anyway, where was I? But yeah, I can definitely finish these a lot quicker than I am, but I don't like to just knit the whole day. I have like other stuff I like to do during the day, so this is kind of the pace I'm going at. And I have already started with the ribbing for the next sleeve as well. I think it's just hard now because I don't know if I'm going to be able to completely finish the sweater in time and start casting on the shawl as well. I don't think I am going to be able to do that, so maybe I'll just see how long it takes me to finish the sleeve, and then from there I will just see if I'm going to have enough time to at least start the shawl, because I don't want to say that I'm going to start it and then not start it. But I'm also so annoyed with having too many projects active like in one time, so I'm trying not to do that because I just get overwhelmed so much, and I also then just feel like I'm not completing anything. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I think I'm going to attempt to finish this other sleeve, and then maybe I will be able to start the shawl as well. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes from here though. We finally have 2 sleeves. The second sleeve definitely worked up a lot quicker than the first one. I took maybe a day and a half to do this one. So we finally have all 3 pieces completed. So now I just have to figure out a way to get all of these stitches on the needles. And I have to say I'm quite confused as to how to do this. The pattern does have like a video for this part, but it's a very smaller version of a sweater, so I'm not completely sure how this is going to work, because as you can see there are a few stitches that are casted off, and these stitches are going to be at the same place that the body's 7 casted off stitches are. Sorry, I'm just going to try and show you more or less. So there is 2 parts of this one that also has 7 stitches casted off. So now the sleeve will go exactly there, and then those 2 parts will be sewed together afterwards. But before I can do that, I somehow now have to get all of these stitches onto one set of needles, and what's bothering me is this is obviously circular, so how am I going to manage to get all of these stitches on one pair of needles with everything else combined? I'm not entirely sure, but I will have to face it anyway. So maybe I should just stop talking and see if I can kind of figure this out. I am happy to report that I finally finished one of probably my most problematic knits, and it's finally done, and my husband is so excited. When he got home the other day, he just wanted to wear it immediately, and I told him, no, you have to wait a bit, it's not even blocked yet, it still needs a zipper. But guys, it's finished. This is a lot of fabric to try and show you like this. I did actually put it on so that you can more or less just get an idea what it looks like, but I think it actually looks beautiful, and I love the texture that it has. It's quite pretty, and just look at those neat increases. I did make a mistake somewhere. I think it's at the front where I accidentally increased where I shouldn't have, and I was just like 1 stitch off or something, and I was just not going to rip that back. I just said, nah, that's just gonna have to be like that now. So yeah, but this is what it looks like. Oh, I just have a little loose dude over there. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I've already even weaved in the ends and everything. So the last thing I just needed to do was the collar. So you just knit the, rip the collar the whole way. I think it was 22 centimeters, I believe, that you just knit up, and then you just fold it back on itself, and then just stitch it together at the joining point basically. So it's quite thick, it's quite a thick collar, but I believe if I just block it flat and just press it a little bit, it will go lie down a bit more. So yeah, I have to say the pattern, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't bad, but if you're a beginner, I would not recommend it. I would not recommend it. I had to read some of the sections a lot of times just to try and visualize what I'm supposed to do, and that didn't even help. A lot of times I had to call my mum and ask her, what am I supposed to do over here? And she is a lifelong knitter, and even she was unable to really tell me what the pattern expected. For example, it doesn't really hold your hand throughout the process. They just kind of think that they just assume that you know how to do certain things. Like, for example, they don't tell you what type of increase you should use for the raglan. The sleeves were also a bit unclear, where you have to cast off the 7 stitches for the sleeves. So it was rough. It was rough, but I was able to figure it out up until the raglan part. I think this is where the biggest issues started for me, just where you start to do the increases and stuff, because the pattern actually did this a lot with the sections. For example, it would say raglan increases, and then it would actually tell you read the whole part before you start, but then the increase instructions will be on another page or something like that. So you have to flip around a lot to try and make sure that you're not missing anything. So that was quite a bit confusing. I'm not super happy with the yarn I've chosen. It does actually feel quite warm. Even when I just wore it, it actually feels quite warm. So it's fine, but I am a little bit sad that I didn't rather just get merino yarn and do it like that, because I don't know if I will ever do this pattern again. And when my husband saw it completed the other day, he already said, oh, but now I want a grey one, now I want a red one. And I'm just like, not this pattern, you can choose another one, buddy. I'm not doing this again. It's probably not that bad, it's just it was just not enjoyable for me personally. Then, just for a little bonus something, I've been experimenting with dyeing my own yarn this last couple of weeks, and just look at this. This is so beautiful and so it's very pink. It's very pink. I used red dye, and the color it says is petal pink. Does this look petal pink to you? This is probably the most pink something can be pink. I was expecting like that type of color, and this was not that. So quite a bit pink, and I even made the thingy as well, but it's very, like, it keeps losing hairs. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see that. And now I don't know what to do with that. Is it going to work if I just wash it maybe? I don't know. But yeah, but this is made with Abbey Road yarn, actually, with this. Abbey Road Kiki Merino. These are on special, or they were on special in Spotlight for, I think, like 50% off. So that was amazing. So I grabbed so many of these. You will see why in the next 2 weeks. So yeah, 100% merino, and you use like, I think for these I use a 7mm hook needle, sorry. So it's quite a chunky thing to do, but I also held it together, 2 of those strands, so just to make it even more bulky. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I think it's very cute, and the bobble is alright too. It's just, I'm just a little concerned with the hair loss going on here. Okay, and then the last project that I planned for today is the Fernfield Wrap. And I didn't actually think I was going to get to this, because I finished the sweater yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. This video needs to go out on Friday, and I still need to edit and everything. So I finished the sweater Wednesday, and I actually casted this on last night as well. And I think it's looking so weird. That is the wrong side around. I think it's looking so beautiful so far. I'm not sure where to keep it that you can properly see it. But it is so pretty. And I have to say, this pattern is written amazingly. I have been having such a great time knitting this. It is so clear as to what you're supposed to do. You have written instructions, but also she has a chart for you, so you can choose which one you would like to follow. She also gives you the option to adjust it or to customize it a little bit. So if you want the increases to go faster and you want a bigger space in the middle or whatever, she actually like helps you how to do that. And the whole pattern is written in a way where you can actually see where your customizations need to go. So it's so nice and it's so much fun. I have to say, I haven't had this much fun with a pattern in a long time. The only thing with this is you do not want to make a mistake, because of all of the, like, you have increases in between, you have yarn overs in between, you have a left twist and a right twist in between. That's a new one I'm learning with this. So if you need to pull it back or frog it or whatever, it actually creates the biggest screw up, because then you actually lose the stitches that you increased. So it's quite high stakes, I would say. But I've just kind of inserted a lifeline, so when I finish a section or whatever, when I feel like, okay, cool, this next part looks a bit harder, so I will just put a lifeline in just in case I make a mistake, because I did have to start this over once already, because I made a mistake and I tried to frog it back and just pick up the stitches again, and the count was off, everything was looking weird. So I think that's the only part that makes this a little bit hard, but I am so excited to go on with this. It's just so incredibly beautiful. And it also has, I believe this is what you call it, an I-cord edge as well. So how that works is you just slip the last 3 stitches, I believe, with the yarn held in front, whatever that does and whatever that means. So yeah, so the I-cords also look beautiful, and then it just has these beautiful, I just cannot stop looking at it, it's so pretty. And the yarn is working up quite nicely. I think it would have been a bit better if I held it together with like something fluffy as well, like a mohair or something like that. But to get this type of color in a mohair, I think would have been quite hard. And yeah, mohair is quite expensive anyway, so I am fine with just the plain cotton. It's all good. Maybe I'll make me one for more winter weather as well one day, where I make it with a merino so that it's a bit more warm. So yeah, but I'm so happy with this. I think it's going to be so beautiful once I finished it. So I know this episode, or this podcast as I'm calling it, is quite a bit different than what you are usually used to. I know a podcast is more a sit down and just talk, and there's not a lot of cuts and not a lot of edits and not a lot of other stuff happening. So I'm aware of that, but I just want to make it a little bit different. Not every episode is going to be this exciting as going to Queenstown or doing this or doing that, but I would like to make it a bit more involved. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not really someone who likes to post something, and I don't really feel like I did much for the video. So I am aware that this is a bit different than what you're used to, and let me know if you are enjoying it, and if you rather enjoy more of a sit down and just talk. My thing is just I don't have a lot to talk about with the projects I do. I don't know what to say most of the time. You can only talk about the yarn so much, you can only talk about the pattern so much, so that makes things quite hard for me. So to make a longer form video, I like to have something interesting on the side as well, or like today where I'm trying to finish my WIPs. I actually think most of my episodes will probably be me just trying to finish some work in progress projects, and maybe showing off some new projects that I've finished or new cast-ons. So yeah, let me know what you think of this and if you enjoyed it, and also let me know what you're busy with. And have you ever knitted a free pattern And what was your experience with it? Because I've had good experiences with free patterns, and I've also had not so good experiences with free knitting patterns. So it has been quite a journey because I don't always like to pay for patterns. I absolutely understand and I appreciate the work that the pattern makers puts into it, but sometimes just buying the yarn is already quite expensive depending on what your taste is like, and now you have to buy the pattern as well, and it just gets expensive very quickly. And I'm quite stingy when it comes to money, so I like to try free knitting patterns every so often, or there where I am able to. If I can rather have a free pattern, I will try to do that instead of buying a paid for pattern, of course. But then I also find why we pay for knitting patterns, because there is so much detail and so much effort into paid patterns that it's just so worth it. And every time I finish a project I made with a free pattern, I'm so happy and so excited to actually do a project then that is from a paid pattern, because I just know the quality and the effort I'm going to get in that. So it's quite a struggle sometimes, but it's nice to have the option to choose between the two. So, but I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to go on with this beautiful project. So I will see you probably in a few weeks or maybe a month or so. I will just see when I have something interesting to show you again. So yeah, until the next one, have a good day.